In the headlines tonight, Ethiopia and Colombia renew ties. Vendors, farmers suffer amid rising prices and fuel shortages in Sudan. Good evening to you all. Very warm welcome to ETV News. I am Grum Tariku. Ethiopian Minister of Agriculture met and discussed with Cuban Ambassador to Ethiopia, George Lefebvre Nicolas. During the discussion, the two sides agreed to strengthen bilateral cooperation between Cuba and Ethiopia in research, technical assistance, technology transfer, capacity development. The Minister Girma Amanté, for his part, stated that Ethiopia and Cuba have long-standing historical relations, adding they are undertaking initiatives geared toward economic growth. Cuba expressed keenness to support Ethiopia in agriculture, biotechnology, animal health, production technology, mechanization, irrigation, and coffee production. Cuban Ambassador to Ethiopia, George Lefebvre Nicolas, underscored that Cuba has common interests to promote bilateral cooperation and share modest experience for agriculture. Vice President of Colombia, Francia Elena Marquez Mina, today arrived in Addis Ababa for a two-day official visit to Ethiopia. The Vice President was warmly welcomed by Ethiopia's Minister of Women and Social Affairs, Ergoge Tesfaye, upon arrival at the Bole International Airport this afternoon. Vice President Marquez Mina is expected to hold discussions with Minister of Foreign Affairs, Demeke Mekonnen, and other high-ranking Ethiopian government officials during her visit. The discussion will focus on ways to bolster bilateral cooperation between Ethiopia and Colombia and other issues of mutual concern. Ethiopia and Colombia have been working to further enhance their age-long bilateral relations, it's learned. Currently, Colombia is working to open its embassy in Addis Ababa with a view to bolster its ties with Ethiopia. Investors who exhibited products in the Made in Ethiopia Expo said the national manufacturing campaign, known in Amharic as Ethiopia Tamrit, is not only revitalizing the industry sector but also improving the competitiveness as well as bring quality product in Ethiopia. The expo, which was part of the Made in Ethiopia initiative, was here last week, involving a large number of manufacturers and investors. Johannes van Town has the following report.
Ethiopia has employed an initiative called Ethiopia Tamrit with the aim of promoting the status of the country's manufacturing sector and manufactured products, creating sustainable trade links, and providing manufacturing industry products at reasonable prices in order to increase the customers' confidence in local products and facilitate alternative markets by attracting international business individuals. Last week, a national expo was hosted by the industry minister, in which 70 high and 54 micro and small-scale enterprises presented their products and more than 40,000 visitors attended. In the expo, the State Minister of the Ministry of Industry said the government of Ethiopia gives priority to the manufacturing industry with the expectation of import substitution by revitalizing the industry sector.
The government gives priority for the manufacturing industry. We expected in the future from the manufacturing industry to substitute the import substitute. The import share now we have currently around 37%. Gradually we have to increase. Also, our share production from the manufacturing industry very insignificant. Also, the share of GDP we got from the manufacturing industry is around 6.9. So gradually we have to increase.
The participants of the expo said that the event created an opportunity for them to promote their products, and according to them, the due attention given by the government will bring quick economic growth it dreams of.
Now it's a very glad chance for me to participate in this expo. First, we are very happy to put our products here and to make more people to know about our company and our product. Because people always thinking this is maybe import, and now people start knowing we have this 100% made in Ethiopia product with this quality.
The focus is on manufacturing, and I've always said for Ethiopia's economy to transform and for us to move up the sort of the wealth scale, we need to produce stuff locally. Okay, so if we start from that premises where we all acknowledge the importance of the manufacturing sector for Ethiopia, then organizing events like this is critical, and to showcase what is available, to showcase what will come in the future. And there were, as you know, there were a lot of panel discussions as well from a policy perspective. So matching the policies, the new initiatives, the homegrown economic reform gives the manufacturing sector a priority. And then, to be honest, I was very impressed to see so many manufacturers. You know, people don't realize it's still a relatively small portion of the economy. I think it's less than 5% of our GDP. But the trajectory in the future, and we're in the manufacturing sector, I can tell you we produce in Ethiopia for global export. We export 100% clothing, okay? So we know for a fact Ethiopia actually is an attractive place for manufacturing.
According to scholars who visited the expo, an overall development and growth in the industry sector can be achieved with enhancing productivity, quality and competitiveness.
Welcome to the land of origins. Commercial Bank of Ethiopia is pleased to serve all your traveler banking needs. If you have money from any of these 16 countries, you can convert it to local currency by visiting our nearest branch. Alternatively, our secure Forex ATMs accept cash exchange, or if you prefer using your cards, we've partnered with Visa, MasterCard, and UnionPay so that you can withdraw cash from our local ATMs or make cashless transactions at thousands of local POS partners securely and with confidence. We are linked with more than 700 global banks through our direct SWIFT address, CBE Teta. We also work with 16 international money transfer agents, out of which Tune and World Remit enable you to make direct deposits into our savings and current accounts or our popular CBE Burr mobile wallet. Commercial Bank of Ethiopia, the bank you can always rely on.
The Lower Omo Valley is an ancient land where people continue to live in contact with nature and far from modernity, where light and darkness dictate the pace of life.
I think
the people of the Omo Valley, they are untouched people, and they have strong norms to keep their own culture, customs, whatever the norms. That's the way I think. Even I'm worrying about even maybe tourism getting to spoil them.
Loro venendo in contatto con noi.
In big towns now, it's global. Everybody has information through Facebook, through internet, so they are dreaming, their mind is everywhere. But here, wake up in the morning, taking coffee, walking with a goat to the field, coming back here. It's very easy.
The Lower Omo Valley may seem like a faraway land, but there's much to be learned from its inhabitants. We can't but admire their resilience, sense of community, and profound respect for nature. The Kara, Dasanit, Hamir, Arbore, Mursi, and all the other Omo tribes haven't lost their deep connection to what is real, what is tangible on this planet.
Japanese ambassador to Ethiopia reaffirmed Tokyo's commitment to elevate long-standing bilateral ties with Ethiopia, saying that Tokyo stands by the side of the peace accord between the government and TPLF signed back in November in Pretoria, South Africa. The ambassador added that Japan is rolling its sleeves up to bolster ties, in particular on the trade side. Our staff reporter Kasaun Channe talked to her and compiled the following report.
Ethiopia and Japan, nations with an ancient history and civilization, have long relations dating back to 1930, where the two countries signed the Treaty of Amity and Commerce. This was followed by a visit of Ethiopian Foreign Minister Haile Selassie in 1931 to Japan to create economic cooperation. When it comes to the investment relations, Japanese companies have invested in agriculture, manufacturing, to operations, machinery and equipment rental, consultancy service to operation, transport and communication sectors, according to a data origins business obtained from Ethiopian Investment Commission (EIC). These companies hired significant number of employees. Takako, who arrived here in October 2020, said Tokyo launched the peace accord between the government and TPLF signed in Pretoria, South Africa back in November, saying that there's a great potential to accelerate economic relations between Japan and Ethiopia. She underlined that there are surprisingly only a dozen of Japanese companies here. Takako said Tokyo and Addis Ababa need more to improve conditions for promoting business.
I think we have been enjoying a quite good relations historically and politically and economically, and we've been having a good relation through JICA in terms of economic development. Our embassy also provide the grassroots assistance and also organize some of the humanitarian assistance. But for the long term, we are happy to work with the Ethiopian government for the development in the near future. And our partnership with South, Global South is one of the very important issues that our Prime Minister has been promoting. And this week, we are hosting a G7 summit in Hiroshima, and cooperation with Global South as well as food security. Those are important issues that leaders will discuss. And Japan, being the chair at the presidency of G7, will also emphasize importance, and certainly we plan what we can do in this country.
She also stressed that Japan will continue to support Ethiopia's development efforts through a range of Japanese assistance programs, underlining the significance of the two countries' sustained economic cooperation, particularly following a peace accord between the government of Ethiopia and the TPLF.
The peace agreement has sent a very good message that Ethiopia has finally come out of this conflict in the north. But we also we have continued to work with Ethiopian people through the difficult time as well, although our assistance could not really go directly to those northern regions. Now we are considering what we can do for those development. But Ethiopia is bigger than those three regions, and there are so many places that require cooperation and assistance.
Leather products, coffee, tea, spices and other agri products are some of the products Ethiopia exports to Japan, whereas Japan exports vehicles, iron, machineries, electrical and electronics equipment, among others.
U.S. Embassy in Addis Ababa, in partnership with ICOG Anyone Concord, has launched Solve IT 2023, a nationwide innovation competition. The project encourages Ethiopian youth to make contributions to their community and society through innovation in science and technology. Solve IT helps young entrepreneurs realize their ideas of sustainable startup and business. This third round competition will reach 6 cities in Ethiopia, namely Addis Ababa, Bahar Dar, Diredwa, Jimma, Dese, and Walaita Sodo. Speaking on the launching event, Counselor of Public Affairs of the U.S. Embassy, Ruth Anna Stevens Cleets, noted that the innovation campaign aims to nurture and energize the startup ecosystem of Ethiopia. The program will provide hands-on support for startup businesses ventures by providing opportunities in areas such as business training, mentorship, seed funding, investment networking, and bootcamp events. The plan is to benefit 1,800 Ethiopians from 6 cities across the country. Ethiopian Airlines, a member of Star Alliance, has officially launched a direct flight from Addis Ababa to Atlanta. The largest African airline group CEO, Mesfin Tasso, said the airline will operate a 4 times weekly flight to Atlanta with ultra-modern Boeing 787 aircrafts. Mayor of Atlanta, Andrew Dickens, underlined that the launch of the flight augments the existing mutual benefit of Addis Ababa and Atlanta. Kushmal has the details.
The national flag carrier and African busiest airline has inaugurated direct passenger flight to Atlanta, USA. Speaking on the flight launching ceremony, CEO of the Ethiopian Airlines Group, Mesfin Tasso, said the airline will operate a 4 times weekly flight to Atlanta with ultra-modern Boeing 787 aircraft.
Ethiopian operates this flight initially 4 times per week with the goal of making it daily eventually. We will be using the ultra-modern Boeing 787 aircraft in this route, providing all the comfort the current technology offers to passengers. Atlanta will be our 6th destination to the US, next to Washington, D.C., Chicago, New York, Newark, and Miami. We have also connected Ethiopians and Africans to the US with a convenient connection at Addis Ababa.
Charge Jeffries of U.S. Embassy in Addis Ababa, Tracy Jacobson, remarked that the launching of the direct flight is a milestone to reinvigorate aviation relationship between Ethiopia and U.S.
The latest milestone in what is a long and deep and very important relationship between Ethiopia and the United States of America. Our ties are strong, not just because we have a diaspora of 1 million people in the United States or because we have 40,000 American citizens here in Ethiopia. Our ties are across all sectors. Ethiopian Airlines fleet is more than 80% Boeing, 84% I think. But did you also know that Ethiopian Airlines is a supplier to Boeing, actually supplying components to Boeing? So the partnership works both ways. It's very strong, and this flight is just going to emphasize the history of relations in aviation. But it's so much more than that.
Atlanta City Mayor Andre Dickens, for his part, said that the commencement of the flight will augment the existing mutual benefit of Addis Ababa and Atlanta.
And we look forward to this opportunity to connect. This has been a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for us. Many of my fellow delegates, this was our first time coming to Ethiopia. And here, indeed, we have found a home. And this is a great partnership because it offers mutual benefits for both cities. For one thing, these direct flights will close gaps of distance between our 2 countries. As Africa's largest air carrier, Ethiopian Airlines has connections to 38 of Africa's 54 countries, and this will connect our city.
The Addis Ababa City Mayor Adanesh Abebe, for her part, noted that the direct flight will strengthen tourism, business, and technology between the 2 sisterly cities.
Addis Ababa City Administration is delighted that the airlines reached this milestone. I believe that the direct passenger flight channels enhanced the flow of people, business, tourism, technologies, and ideas, among others.
Ethiopia is adding new destinations around the world and is currently flying to 145 domestic and international destinations on 5 continents.
We still have
Welcome back, and you are watching ETV News. An Ethiopian high-level delegation has arrived in Juba, South Sudan to attend a meeting on the Lamu Port South Sudan-Ethiopia Transport Corridor LAPSSET project. Ethiopian ambassador to South Sudan, Nabil Mahdi, welcomed the delegation at Juba International Airport. The delegation will be attending a discussion on the LAPSSET project, which is underway with a view to link Ethiopia, Kenya, and South Sudan through transport infrastructure. The delegation will also meet with government officials of South Sudan on bilateral issues of mutual concern. The LAPSSET project was launched in 2012 by a joint agreement between the leaders of Ethiopia, Kenya, and South Sudan. Initiated by Ethiopian Minister of Health in collaboration with Hungarian Embassy here in Addis Ababa, 3 ENT surgeons, 2 ophthalmologists, and 1 anesthesiologist professionals are in their professional mission here in Ethiopian capital Addis Ababa. The Hungarian health professionals are providing free health service for patients in the metropolis. Tigsanisa has sat with them. Take a look.
The Hungary health professionals are providing free health service for patients in the metropolis. Approached by ETV, the Hungary health professionals stressed that the trip has created room for experience sharing between the professionals here in Addis Ababa at its based.
What they need, I think, and what we do now is an exchange of our knowledge. We can share the practical routines in my country, what are the routines and the protocols in my country with them.
I think that we have shared many technical and also scientific knowledge, like technical details, how to this or that part of a surgery, which is different, and these things we can use even in Europe, and also the local medical issues like the different pathogens, treatments.
Members of this health professionals team also elaborated that going forward, they're planning of coming back to Ethiopia for more continued partnerships.
Actually, I think it's not just a wish, it's a necessity to come back and to share with colleagues of different continents. And I think that Ethiopia, and especially this hospital in Addis Ababa and the service directed by Dr. Kasaye is an excellent partner for this cooperation. We truly understand each other very well, and the cooperation is already very successful. So yes, we do want to come back.
We came here first time, that is the first mission to Ethiopia, and we are happy to get in contact with this hospital and the Ethiopia Health Ministry. So I think we will come back. We plan in every year maybe we would be able to come back and continue our cooperation.
ENT specialist Dr. Robert further added that more cooperation in multiple other areas will ensure bolstering bilateral ties of the two countries.
Okay, so this is a medical mission. I already spoke about the medical aspects of this issue, but let's not forget that Ethiopia is a very important culture in religion, art, science, nature. So I think that this kind of cooperation can be more and more important and can integrate other specialties, other fields of science as well.
የካቲት 12 in Minilik Hospital's ENT and Ophthalmology department heads stressed the need to continue to cooperate with their Hungarian counterparts.
And it is good to exchange experience from them, and we have also helping our patients in addition to sharing the experience. So in future, we are agreed to continue the sharing of experience.
You know, we would like, to have collaborations like this, because we live in Africa and they live in Europe. So the experience sharing it's big, because we serve different kind of populations. So the experience sharing is very important.
Head of Ophthalmology at Minilik Hospital, Dr. Jerusalem further stated that Ministry of Health of Ethiopia has played a significant role in ensuring the trip to be such a success.
The ministry has been playing a big role in making this trip a success, because they started the talk first, and they facilitated, the licensing of the professionals, and giving them a duty-free privilege for whatever supply they were planning to bring into the country.
The 48th annual meeting of Islamic Development Bank (IDB) was held in Jeddah, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs said Ethiopia has participated at the event for the first time as a guest. Current issues such as exploring opportunities for joint cooperation in the direction of eliminating the consequences of natural disasters, developing human capital, building stable, green and sustainable infrastructure were discussed during the annual meeting. The bank has 57 member countries that are also members of the Organization of Islamic Countries, OIC. The Islamic Development Bank is one of the biggest sources of alternative financing other than International Monetary Fund, IMF, and World Bank, which provides finance to member countries for the construction of infrastructure projects, including education, health, and other multifaceted development efforts. Ethiopia has been working with utmost priority to become one of the beneficiaries of this financial institution, the ministry indicated. Ethiopian ambassador to the United Arab Emirates, Omar Hussein, met with Dr. Ali bin Harmal, first vice chairman of Abu Dhabi Chamber, on Tuesday. In the discussion, they noted that the steady progress shown in bilateral economic ties between Ethiopia and UAE. They also agreed to encourage companies under the chamber to do business in Ethiopia. According to Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Abu Dhabi Chamber plays a major role in strengthening trade relations on local, regional, and international levels.